Ladies and gentlemen, are you awake? Wake up. I know it's a boring market. I know not much is happening right now. We've literally had 4 consecutive days now, 3 consecutive close days, with this one looking like it might do the same, of very, very little price action. Look at those daily candles there. Those are called doji candles. And essentially it's when the candle opens and closes at pretty much the same price, pretty much being a charting representation of indecision. The price is not moving. There is no definitive strength in the buying, no definitive strength in the selling. It's balancing out quite well on the seesaw swing that is the order books here, and nothing's really happening and everyone's kind of falling asleep. So I'm telling you to wake up because I'm seeing some short-term price action developments. I'm seeing some trigger points come to life here, and I want you to see them as well. So we'll do a quick dive into the macro. Basically, the conclusion there is going to be the macro is sound, the macro is okay. We'll do that for a couple of minutes, just showing you what we need to see, and then we'll dive into those short-term developments and the short-term things that you need to see as well. So new information here today. Guys, before we get into it, check out the Bitfinex and BitGet exchanges. If you want a global non-KYC exchange that has never been hacked before, that has everything you need on an exchange, including very, very low trading fees, made even cheaper with my referral link down below, go ahead and use that link to sign up. Takes 15 seconds to sign up, just an email address and a password is required. No identification if you don't want to add it, and you'll get a 15% trading fee discount with my referral link down below. I offer you the exact same deal on BitGet, 15% trading fee discount for life. BitGet has a slightly different use case. It's not available in the USA, but it is a top 5 trading volume exchange. So it's a very well-known, very reputable exchange. So take your pick, Bitfinex or BitGet. I personally use Bitfinex primarily at this point, but I've used BitGet for years, and you know that. Been advertising it for a couple of years at this point now, 3 years actually. So let's get into the content. Links are down below. Right, let's start with the macro. Skim through this because we've discussed it quite a few times, but it is worth bringing up. As long as we're in the range, I'll discuss the macro. That's how I run this YouTube channel. I'll always discuss the most important things first. Right, this range is not a horizontal range. Ranges can be horizontal, like this one right here in 2023. They can be pattern-based, like this one here just last year, or they can be based on diagonal lines. That is what this one is based on, diagonal lines. One of them stemming backwards from 2017 in orange, forming the resistance of this range, and one of them stemming backwards from 2021 highs in yellow, forming the support of this range. Given the fact that we are still on the support of this range and below the resistance, we are hence in a range, hence we are consolidating. We're consolidating in a macro upwards trend with no new lower low. Therefore, we are in a macro upwards trend. And given the fact that we're in a macro upwards trend, that is synonymous with what we call a bull market. So Bitcoin is still in a bull market, and the only scenario in which weakness would be shown, in which we might be entering a bear market, would be if we broke down from the macro range and then formed a lower high, and that would be a confirmed bear market or macro downtrend, because at that point we would have a lower low and we'd also have a lower high. And that is what a downtrend is, right? An uptrend is higher highs and higher lows. A downtrend is lower lows and lower highs. At this point, we're still consolidating within the range. It's been quite a lengthy consolidation, but we discussed in yesterday's video that it's not necessarily abnormal, and we also clarified that abnormality kind of is normal with the cryptocurrency market. No, 2 cycles are the same. They've all got different structures. For example, 2021 was 2 significant peaks. 2017 was literally just straight to the upside, and 2013, as you know, was 2 significant moves as well. So abnormality is kind of the norm. Abnormality is the name of the game, and as long as the macro uptrend's intact, we don't really care too much about what happens within the range. Now, the last thing I'll discuss on macro before we head into the shorter-term charts, the shorter-term developments, which you're probably here for, is, well, a couple of things. One of them is the total cryptocurrency market cap, the altcoin market cap, again, which is on macro support right now. Just doing the same thing as Bitcoin, really not quite breaking down, showing a little bit of weakness, but still in the uptrend. Same thing as well on the altcoin market cap, with a very strong actual weekly chart RSI line stemming backwards 3 years now, which we tested just last week on the drop downwards and bounced off of. So that's a very good sign there for the altcoin market. And I know the altcoin market's been getting, pretty much beaten down relentlessly, but right now we're actually in quite a decent position there, which is great to see for once. And Ethereum in a similar story, right? We've got this kind of big drop downwards a few days ago to a macro support zone, but we're back upwards now, and we're consolidating, holding the line as best we can on a pretty major support block or just below it. So again, altcoin market just not really out of danger yet. Same thing with Ethereum, but not quite in the complete deep end as well. whereas Bitcoin's holding up a little bit better. But the fact of the matter is, and here's where we'll end off the macro discussion, because I'm going to just keep talking about it until the range breaks, and you're probably going to get very sick of me talking about it, and sick of hearing it. The overall conclusion is the macro uptrend's intact. Simple as that. And it will be intact until we break this line here or this line here. And what happens to the altcoin market is a little bit irrelevant. It's relevant if you hold altcoins, but it's a little bit irrelevant in terms of the 4-year cycle, because the 4-year cycle is based on Bitcoin, and altcoins move based on what Bitcoin does. So our focus should be Bitcoin primarily. And that should be the case even in an altcoin season, which sounds a little bit stupid, but it makes actual perfect sense if you think about it. That doesn't mean you're not touching altcoins in an altcoin season. It just means you're looking primarily at Bitcoin to look out when the Bitcoin breakdown happens, or when the Bitcoin breakup happens, because altcoins move as an effect of what's going on in Bitcoin, because Bitcoin leads the market. Anyway, short-term price action. So 3 consecutive doji candles, 3 consecutive candles pretty much screaming to us in charting format, in the language of patterns translated into English, telling us, we don't know what's happening. The buyers don't know what's going on. There's an equal amount of buyers and sellers. The price isn't moving. That's what the charts are saying right now. They're not having a clear decision in the last 3 or 4 days. And there's a reason for that, okay? And I'll tell you why. If we want to talk it into English, the chart wants to go down here in the short term, right? We went for a resistance retest. We're in a downwards trend on the local short term, coming towards support. The chart wants to go down. However, in the process of doing that, we've found a very strong support block. We've found a very strong support block from the volume profile, okay? And the range surrounding the volume profile, which is showing a massive amount of support in this rough price region. So it's not a surprise at all that Bitcoin is having a hard time going downwards here. It's a very good sign, actually. Now, you can look at this 2 ways. You can see, okay, oh, we're actually below the POC, and therefore that's bad, and therefore we'll be dropping downwards soon. And that is a form of analysis you can take, of course. It's not really easy to validate until we actually see movement. But another form of analysis you can take is you can look at the Bitcoin daily chart RSI, and you can draw in this triangle formation where the price chart is not telling us very much right now. It's just a bit of a mess. The RSI is telling us quite a lot. The RSI is showing us there is a triangle formation right here, okay, that is showing a clear resistance as a trigger point that we need to break to the upside in order to confirm a short-term move to the upside and hence to the top of the range, and a clear support zone that we need to hold on to. Now, right now, we are holding it. It looks like we're breaking below it, but we are actually holding it because the candle is not closed yet, and the candle is slightly red right now. But that is probably the reason why we're having a hard time moving here. We are in a local downwards trend, wanting to go downwards towards support. However, we are finding support right here before we get to that macro support, and the selling pressure is simply not strong enough at the moment to actually finish off that move to the bottom of the support zone. And so we're just finding support in kind of the middle of the range through this daily chart RSI and through the POC. So what I'm watching right now is the daily chart RSI, this triangle formation, and the rough area in the volume profile at around 98,000 to 96,000, as that level is a level we need to hold in the short term. And if we hold that level, we will avoid going back down to the bottom of the macro range at 91,000. And if we break above something like 98K or break above something like this daily chart RSI channel or triangle formation, for example, we will have formed a higher low and we will have a good opportunity of smashing back to the upside of the range and potentially breaking outwards from there. So if that makes sense to you guys, but basically what I'm saying is this: Bitcoin has an opportunity to find a short-term bottom right here, and all of it relies on not losing this daily chart triangle formation. This analysis is pretty much supported by the 4-hour charts. We look at a different time frame. Look at the 4-hour chart here, and we see just the same thing, POC and the volume profile in this rough price region. But we look at the daily chart, the 4-hourly chart, RSI, and we draw in kind of a descending resistance line right here, a very valid one with 3 retests, and we see a potential breakout coming here. So, I'm not saying it's going to happen. It's hard to say at this point. We are in a local downwards trend, so realistically, our inclination is actually to be bearish here in the short term. But we do have an opportunity to end this short-term bearishness, an opportunity to swing back to the upside, break this momentum back to the upside, and swing to the top of the range. Hopefully, it occurs. If it does not occur, we will be swinging backwards and continuing not swinging backwards anyway. We will be continuing the current local trend, which is down in the macro support zone. So at this point in time, what the charts are saying is we should expect to go back down to 91K unless there is a break of momentum to the upside through things like the 4-hourly chart RSI and the daily chart RSI. So expect 91K until the momentum is shifted, which you can view very clearly by looking at the 4-hourly chart RSI line and also the daily chart RSI line, which I'll draw back in just so you can see it one last time. So draw those things in on your charts and watch them closely. If they do break, that will be a great sign for Bitcoin, and that will be a pretty decent long signal, basically. So I'm sorry that I don't have any textbook 101 predictions about what might happen next year in the short term. I don't think it's possible to have a prediction about what might happen here next in the short term. I think, my analysis kind of ends where it ends. It's what I said before. We are in a local downwards trend. Given that fact, we should expect 91K unless the momentum indicators break to the upside, and those trigger points come from something like the daily chart RSI line right here in yellow and the 4-hourly chart RSI line right here in yellow as well. That is the most analysis I can do in this situation right now. And that is pretty useful analysis if you are into trading and you are into looking at these lines, which you should be doing. I will keep you updated. I will let you know if those lines break to the upside. Until then, the expectation should be a continuation of a downwards trend. Hopefully that does not occur. So the market has remained boring, and hopefully that boringness comes to an end soon. I think it will. I don't think we can consolidate for much longer. But guys, before we end off the video here today, Bit2Nix exchange again, and the BitGet exchange. Bit2Nix exchange being global non-KYC, accessible anywhere in the world, never been hacked before, which is very, very important. Okay, you need an exchange with a good track record. This is one that has that. Okay, they can keep your money safe, or at least historically speaking, they've done that to people's money. And that's why I advertise it, one of the reasons at least. And with my 15% trading fee discount, you can get simply by using my link to sign up down below. It becomes too good of a deal to pass up on. So go ahead and use it if you're interested. Same situation on BitGet, except it's not available in the USA, but it is a top 5 trading volume exchange, which means a lot to a lot of people. So again, 15% trading fee discount down below. The last thing I'll mention is my VIP group on Telegram. I've got altcoin trading signals that I post on VIP 4 times a week. I've also got a group chat with 160 other VIP members that you can become a part of, and you can join, and you can become a VIP member. Okay, do you want that title? Right, put on your resume, put on your name tag. That's what you'll get in the VIP groups. Right, so guys, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll catch you soon.